what's this called? X5.
Yeah,
What's the
X5
deal with this
podcast.
X5 podcast? So tell me a little bit. You listen to this. You're a regular contributor. So tell me about the show.
I mean, I'm actually buddies with all those guys. They're based here out of Alabama.
Oh man,
Out
I
of a
didn't know you
small,
know.
it's a
You know
small little town.
Cassio?
Yeah. I just heard you talking about Cassio, like you knew who he was. I was like, oh, I didn't know Cassio's name was known that far around. Well, Cassio is on the radio in Huntsville. Like he actually has a
Yeah.
morning show. But
Ca-
the X5 podcast, they're out of like a small little town that I could tell you the name and you would have never heard of it because it's out in the middle of nowhere. But the guy that runs it is pretty successful, and he sunk a lot of money. Like he's got a whole studio built, like professional. There's a whole sound booth. They have a sound guy that runs all the sound. You go into the room where it's set up. The middle of the room there's a tower with cameras facing every way, and then there's sofas and chairs around the room with mics mounted to it. I mean, it's a real
neat,
nice professional setup. But I've done a lot of stuff with them. They call me when they have like stupid stunts and pranks they want people to do, and I come in and do it. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that they call in to do all the stupid shit.
Let's take a look at this video because I want to cover this story of Tom Zutaut on the X5 podcast. Because I want to know, Jeff, if you recognize this first part of the show, the voice calling in here.
Hey guys, it's Mason. I've got a question for Tom. I'd like to ask him to talk a little bit about the extent of his involvement with the Guns N' Roses Village sessions, and then his perspective on how the storage locker with the demos come up for sale, and about our mutual friend Rick Dunsford acquiring them.
Now, I want to say, first off,
I have not seen this.
First off, I want to say, I love when you said mutual friend. Look at the look on Tom's face. Like, oh, yeah.
I know I had to name drop Rick because I wanted to see if I could get I also wanted to see how his reaction would be just to the question in general. Like I didn't know if it was something he was even open and wanted to talk about or not.
It took balls though for them to play this. You know what I'm saying?
Did they screen your question before they put you on the air?
Of course.
I'm sure they did. Well, because it wasn't a live call, so they have like a line set up to where you can call in and leave questions like on their voicemail comments.
So you weren't asking live.
No, it wasn't live.
No,
it wasn't live because they don't live stream the podcast when they tape it.
Okay.
So because they taped it a few days before this come out.
How long ago did this publish?
This was past week.
Yeah, this week. Yeah, this is
last
still
Wednesday.
new.
Yeah. Right on. I don't know how it didn't show up on my copy list.
But the other thing is that like this is the second time they had Zutaut on, and the first time they didn't bring it up, and I talked to my buddy afterwards because I sent him a message to ask him about it, but they had already started taping, and he didn't see it till afterwards. But they didn't even know about it. Like they're not as deep in it as we are. So he goes, the Village sessions, what are those? And I had to explain to him even what I was talking about so they didn't even the other guys probably have never even heard of what I was talking about.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Well, let's hit play and let's hear Tom's response because this is great. So let's listen.
Also, I'd like to know if he believes that those demos getting leaked is the only reason we're actually seeing Guns N' Roses finally finish the tracks and release them. Thanks.
Thanks, Mason.
You know, I live a very crazy life. So when I moved from Virginia to Chattanooga, I had a storage unit in Virginia, and it was attached to a credit card that had some fraud on it. And they hadn't updated my information on this unit. They had on the other units, but not this particular unit. And so over $60, because it was $30 a month, over $60, they sold the unit.
Oh, geez.
Without ever contacting me. And I think the people that
I want to pause it right there because I got something I want to say about the storage unit industry, okay? These fucking scumbags knew that Tom Zutaut had that locker. Plus, they knew he had other lockers.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I don't know if in what you got edited down, but in the full clip, like that's what he also says. He goes, I had other lockers with them that they knew my name was on.
Yeah. So rather than move his information, they sold it because they figured there's going to be some gold records in there. They know what's in these things.
Yeah,
so
those
they
guys
sold
who
it.
own and operate those things are pretty shady.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 100% sure that they knew that they should move his information over and chose to sell it because they would get more money out of it. and I would sue their fucking daylights off if I was Tom. So let's hear him continue his explanation.
That moved me. They accidentally took 10 of these, I think it was 10 or however many of these GNR work discs, as I called them, and they put them in a box with superfluous bulk CDs of things that I had worked on that eventually I figured I would give them away to people or whatever, but they weren't important enough for me to move to Chattanooga. So those got misplaced. They should have never been in that box anyway. But I look at it as some kind of divine intervention that the world needed to hear these songs. And how crazy is it?
It's a good way to look at it.
That this guy went around the country raising money,
especially for us fans,
to buy these things from, this guy that ended up acquiring this stuff over $60. I don't think that it has necessarily influenced Guns N' Roses into releasing this stuff. I don't really believe that. I think
I got to call BS on this part.
Axl,
You got to call BS.
I would too.
Because he says Axl always planned to release it. And I was like, well, he was holding on to him for quite a long time. So I don't know if he was.
Did you not?
I
hear
think
about
he
the
forgot
Chinese
about
Nazi 2 rumors.
Oh yeah, Axl forgot about him till he heard him on the leaks.
Yeah.
On the internet.
Oh shit, I forgot we did do that song. Let's put that shit out.
No, I disagree, Tom. Axl did not have a plan, but okay, let's hear him out. The clip's almost over.
had a plan to release this stuff, and
Eventually.
I mean there were like 60 some songs, right? And I'd say maybe 15 of them have come out. Some of that stuff was
Where'd he get that
product
number
on
from?
Stuff that ended up on China.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Glass.
There's been 4 come out.
Yeah, first you said there was 10 discs. There's like
Well, I
20
think
on
he
there.
means leak.
Oh, well, yeah, we got all of the leaks, so.
And
Unless he's saying that, well, I guess he's
I don't
saying
know.
that
The
he has-
general wasn't in there, neither was Monsters. So
Well, I was about to say, I guess he's
True.
saying that there's more that he knows of that's not come out yet.
oh, fair.
Probably, yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of the clip anyway. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's a fair point though. Like, if there are 60, how much? What's up, Mike?
So I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
If there is that many of them out there, there's bound to be other songs that we haven't heard yet.
Not
Well, but then you
from-
also got to try guessing what he means by song, because does he mean a full song with lyrics and everything, or what does he mean by songs? I don't know how he means that.
Yeah.
There might be like 5 other songs out there that we hadn't heard. I'm pretty sure Oklahoma got
It's
some
instrumental,
Well,
songs.
I
that's been
think.
renamed 100 times.
It's like
Yeah.
Berlin, then Oklahoma. I don't know. There's named after like random cities, I guess. All right.
I'm pretty sure it's whatever.
I'm gonna
it
call
is
this one
that they-
locations. That's it.
The locations.
Yes. Geography, the musical, by Axl Rose.
Now,
The name of
now
this
see, the-
album is Chinese Democracy. What songs are we going to play? We're going to play Berlin, Oklahoma, Madagascar.
Yeah.
What has this got to do with China? Fuck you. That's what.
Doesn't fucking matter, bitch. It's my album.
now I'll say, I was happy to hear like some of his perspective of how like the locker, everything come up for sale. But I also was hoping that he would talk about like his involvement with the sessions, like when they were actually recording and stuff. But he didn't get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got to save something because he's about to release a Tom Zutaut show with these guys, which is
Yeah.
probably going to be like the something to wrestle of rock and roll, you know?
In a way, yeah. I mean, he's interacted with so many bands from the 80s, especially being part of, and Geffen, who signed a lot of these guys. Were like, I think Geffen was like really big, like, sort of like for janitors, you could say, like, in, hair metal, like 80s rock and stuff, because they had
What's
Crew, GNR. I mean, Zutaut even got Tesla signed to a deal, too.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
trying
he
to sell
worked
their
with it.
demos, but no one wants them, so.
what was pretty cool about, I haven't been paying attention to see if there's been anything written up about this interview, but the last interview they did with Zutaut had the clip that was getting writ up in all the rock websites of him talking about Johnny Depp. So that was pretty cool. I shared that with my
Oh,
buddies.
yeah.
That they were getting wrote up in a bunch of the articles for that clip. So I
Oh,
don't,
yeah.
But I was kind of hoping, and I don't know if they put that part of the Zutaut interview out because they do clips of their show. If they put that out there as their own clip on their page, I mean, you know how crazy the Guns N' Roses fans are. They'd probably get a lot of traction on that clip.
Oh, yeah.
Well, fuck yeah.